My name is Dushan Zaric, and welcome to the 4 a.m. Chicken Soup Podcast. Welcome to the 4 a.m. Chicken Soup Podcast. And today I am really blessed to have two amazing guests that I really wanted for a long time to have. So please welcome, she is Adhel Martinez, and she is the brand ambassador for the Rumbas Mezcal, some really amazing lineup of agave, of mezcal. And so we're very happy to have you. Thank you.
Thank you so much for having me. It's super exciting. And your bars?
Oh,
chef's kiss.
It's my office.
Amazing.
Thank you.
Incredible.
Thank you. You're clearly a lady of taste.
I've been told before. What can I say?
Absolutely. And he is my very good friend, a legend in rock and roll in my book. Somebody who I really was a huge fan of before I even met him for years. Bill Gould, formerly from Faith No More, and now the producer of something amazing, comes from actually my country. And he makes Yebiga rakia. Rakia is a Serbian term for brandy, for fruit brandy. And this here is plum. The most traditional fruit brandy that we make. So we'll talk to Bill about all of that and about life, and you just have to sit back, make yourself a drink, and relax.
Yeah.
All right, so you don't have a drink yet.
I don't. I'm thirsty. Help me.
Okay.
Nurse, please.
So now I have something really cool for you. I think you're gonna like that a lot.
Ooh.
I'm gonna use your mezcal, and we both agreed that Serbian is the one to go for this drink.
Yes.
Absolutely. So, what's going on? How are you guys?
We're doing great.
Good.
I'm doing great. You know, just past Christmas, we made it through. It's great. We're here.
Yeah.
We're
here.
It's a weird interim of like between Christmas and New Year's. You're like, what day is it? What's going on? What's happening? So right in between, you know. And then you reset January 1st. So right now I'm just gonna going with emotions, and then come Tuesday, Wednesday, whenever the first is, I'm like, all right, we can restart now.
Yeah, totally. This is my favorite week of the year when nobody's here. And nobody's calling me, nobody's bothering me, you know, and I love that. So I can just focus on my own thing. But what have you been doing?
Whew. I mean, the past 24 hours have been pretty intense.
Oh.
I've just family stuff and actually family, catching up with people, you know. Been a really crazy year with people dying but just, you know, big changes, and it's kind of like just catching up with people and just, you know, now this is kind of the end of the road right here. I just got back from LA. I was at my mom's house, had a big party there. She's moving out of the family house, and now you don't see it, but I have a sleeping bag over here. I actually live in this garage.
Oh, my lucky you!
No, you know, it's just this is good. This is a nice little refuge for me. I live actually a couple miles away.
Oh, very cool.
I'm like my neighborhood bar.
This is such a cool neighborhood too. It's like so nice. It's like you're close to the beach. It's very quiet. I love it. It's so nice up here. Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's been kind of a really intense end to the year, even for me. And I hear it's been busy for you guys, right?
Yeah. I mean, I feel like 2020, I mean, it's weird because I felt like I had like a really hectic year.
Yeah.
But then talking to my peers, to my friends, to my family, I feel like everybody collectively had like a pretty intense year. So it feels like in a way you have some sort of community where like, we're almost there. It's almost over. And I know time is just a construct, but like the fact that, I don't know, there's something comforting to start to count all over again January 1st. I know it's just completely in our minds, right? But I can't wait for January because I get to start all over again. And I'm like, okay, all right. It's just this weird, comforting feeling to like, okay, round 2, let's go, you know? But I feel like we all had like a interesting year, to say the least.
I agree.
Collectively, yes.
I agree for
Definitely.
sure.
I thought it was a me thing. Then I talking to my peers, like, oh no, it's like an everybody thing. You know, we all had like a interest in that.
You know, I mean, it's not all bad. I mean, it's easy
know,
to
it doesn't have to be bad,
catastrophize things,
sure.
right? I mean, what I'm just noticing, like, the stuff I have, it's really well known where he comes from, but out here it's pretty much unknown. And, you know, I've been doing this for about 5 years now.
Oh, cool.
And it's been really hard to be able to explain something when people don't have a concept of doing what it is,
100%,
right?
yeah.
And, you know, this year I've just kind of noticing that it's almost like they're kind of ready for something like this. And I'm seeing a shift, like, just because I've been doing this a lot.
Yeah.
And you know, you talk about the market as a big general thing, but people's mentality in a way.
Yeah.
I feel like that kind of people are looking for something interesting right now. And I feel like that's actually, and on all levels, it's a cool thing.
Thank you so
Here we
much.
go. It's called the Yellow Jacket.
All right.
Can I take a picture of it and be super lame like that?
Totally.
Oh my god. I'm gonna be like that, like, oh my god, I'm gonna do it.
Yeah. Okay. If you're tagging, you're tagging. All right. So.
Content, baby. Let's go.
Totally. So. Why rakia, man? Why did you like?
Oh yeah.
I mean, I know that you're cool and you think outside of the box because I was a fan of your music and the way you guys expressed yourself. So I'm not surprised that somebody like you kind of sees things in a different way.
But I mean, I experienced it because, I mean, so we played, like, we were really big, like around 1990, 1991.
Right.
And we toured, like, and that's when Eastern Europe was kind of opening up, right? And so to me it was a big adventure. It was like places we could never tour before. All of a sudden we were playing in Budapest and kids were coming from Bulgaria and from Serbia, and it was like this wild country that I didn't know anything about.
Right.
And you know, when you grow up like as an American, that's the part of the world that they never tell you about.
Right.
So that's like the big mystery. And so I was like, I want to go there, right? Like where these kids are coming from, that's where I want to go. And I went there, and it was like really different than I expected, but like really free in ways that were not free here, where people are smoking, people are doing, they're drinking beer outside. Like there's concerts, they're all drinking beer out in front, and it's like real free living, right? And rakia was what a lot of people had, and their families made it. They were proud of it, and I was just like, I bonded to the whole thing. It's like there's something about it it's more than a drink. It's a culture, and it's like it's a statement, you know.
Yeah.
And so I was just drinking it for 25 years and bringing it back, right? Bringing my suitcase, and it was just 5 years ago when I just met some people who were kind of in the industry and they didn't know anything about it.
Right.
And I'm just thinking like, that's crazy, and somebody's got to do something about this.
Yeah,
and nobody's doing it, you know.
So it's rakia? Is that
Rakia, yeah.
And
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
and it's not traditional. Like you can make it from any fruit, or it's a specific.
You can
fruit,
actually.
So you can make it.
Rakia is kind of a broad category. It's kind of like brandy, you know.
Right.
Eau de vie. It's fruit brandy.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's all. We make all kinds of rakia.
Yeah.
Fruit rakia. Plum is the most traditional and the most widely made.
Because there's a lot of it there,
It yields the most, and
Gotcha.
it's sustainable, and you can do it every year, and you know, the earth doesn't suffer.
Gotcha.
You know,
Right.
so it's the most popular or widely made.
Yeah.
But the other ones also are proved really, really well done.
Yeah.
And you know, like my favorite is quince.
Okay,
Quince is extremely dry fruit.
Yeah.
And you need a ton of quinces for, I don't know, a case of
Gotcha.
brandy.
Okay.
You know, like it's. But that's definitely my favorite, because I had a poisoning as a 15-year-old with the plum one.
Oh my god.
And
so now it's like,
I am easing now. Now I'm easing into it. But
like old friend, we meet again.
right. But you know, the other ones I've explored to no end.
Yeah.
And you know, there's apple, of course. There's pear. You know, and there's raspberry.
Gotcha.
There's apricot, even peach. You know, they make pretty good stuff nowadays. Even the technology is kind of, you know, they're experimenting with different types of wood for aging, for stuff like that, and it's fun. It's a fun scene.
Yeah. That's cool. That's awesome. And how is it traditionally drank? Like, is this like a shot thing, like a neat, just like sipping on
just
it like
neat.
a sipper?
I mean, originally, this is really an old eau de vie. Like, you know, brandy. You think of brandy as a fruit spirit, but brandy, I think in France, is like started like 1313, and they found stills going back to like 1000 AD.
Right.
So it's actually pre-brandy, when distilled spirits were just coming in from the Arab world. Like this is like the first place it kind of started.
Yeah.
So it's stuff people made on the farm just so their fruit wouldn't go bad.
Yeah.
And it was a way to kind of make the use of all of your fruit, right?
Right.
And so you clean the house with it. You had guests with it. You traded it like money, and it's still.
It's like a full
used
animal
like-
butchery. You use
Exactly.
every
It's
single
nose
part
to
of
tail
the
medicine.
butcher.
And the
Exactly.
medicine aspect.
Absolutely medicine.
Yeah.
Everything.
Like when I was a kid and I had like the flu, and I had fever, they would rub that stuff on my chest and cover it with like little towels to keep me warm, and that thing would pull out the fever. It's true, it would actually, you know, but it's high proof hooch.
Yes.
You know, like, and so you're like a little boy, you know, and you're sick, and all night long you're like smelling the vapors, you're getting high.
You can actually catch a cold in your neck. Did you know that?
I know, I did
You
not
can
know
catch
that.
a cold in your neck. Yeah.
So
When
where
the
it starts
virus
all the time?
starts there. It goes there.
I'm learning so much today. I'm like,
This episode was brought to you by... Oh, hold on. No one. Brands, marketing companies, liquor companies, distributors, importers. This is your chance to become part of 4 a.m. Chicken Soup. Now, don't forget, we are picky, as are you. This could be you. Stay legendary. You're not talking about the public enemy number one for Serbians.
which is what?
Prome.
Oh, Prome, of course.
Can you
The
explain?
Prome. That goes back to the Romans, actually. So Serbians, like, if you're in somebody's house, right? If you're driving in their car and there's like a baby in the car, they have the heater on and you can't roll the windows down.
It's
And
cold,
you're like,
hot and cold.
fuck? Yeah, like it's actually like, can you please roll down the window? No, because draft, breeze is
Would be
evil,
sick. Oh,
and that's
it's
the
evil,
cause
like-
of like sickness and stuff.
Oh.
You have no idea.
Yeah.
It's retarded. It's so retarded.
Well, for us, it's like you can't go outside with your wet hair because you will get a cold.
Right.
Do not step on the cold floor if your feet are warm because you will get a cold. That was something my grandma told me. And then when I have asthma, so when I was a kid, I was very sick all the time.
Right.
She used to do this thing. She would get aloe vera, you know, the plant. She would grill them and then put them in my socks, and then I would
Interesting.
sleep with grilled aloe vera in my socks to get better. And I hated it because it was so slimy. I was like, Grandma,
Slimy.
no.
They do that with rakia too, with the socks.
Yeah.
And
Interesting.
It's to pull the heat.
Yeah, and it was exactly to pull out whatever was ailing you, and I hated it as a kid. But now like it's funny because I one of my friends, she's kind of like one of the hippy dippy like nutritionist, whatever. She posted something on Instagram about doing that with her kid. I'm like, oh my god, it's exactly what my grandma did to me. So it's actually like a Chinese ancient remedy, and it works. I'm like, so my grandma wasn't wrong. She wasn't just like a like an old Mexican lady trying to do weird shit. Like no, it works. It works. And when I was a kid, it did work. So
How do you like to drink?
this is fantastic. It's delightful. It's perfect.
Thank you.
It's like I saw Yellow Chartreuse, Saint Germain, Sherry,
Yeah.
and San Luis Potosí.
Yeah,
It's perfect. I love it because it doesn't overpower the mezcal. I feel
right.
like sometimes
That's
with
right.
mezcal cocktails. And that's what I talked about earlier. I'm like, well, I have these expressions.
Right.
You know, if you know what you're doing,
Yeah.
which I know you do, you should use this
I
one.
mean, I'm just old, you know.
No.
I mean, old in the good way, you know.
It's just-
I've been around, you know. I
mean-
played with a lot of liquid friends.
It's just with mezcal specifically, I feel like there's some expressions that are meant to be elevated and not overpowered, and I feel like a lot of bartenders sometimes make the mistake of just like thinking it's a one-to-one substitution and
Right.
it's mezcal, let's put it in this cocktail. Like,
Right.
well, it might
No.
not work there because it might get overpowered or whatever. You know,
have to
especially
know.
with citrus.
Right.
If mezcal margarita, they're not all in the same, right? It has to be the right mezcal, otherwise it
That's right.
just gets overpowered. And you
Right.
did such a fantastic job with this.
Well, thank you.
Delightful.
Thank you so much. You know, if the tools are good, then the craftsman can do a
There
good
you
job.
go. There you go.
You know, so
But you gotta know how to listen, right? You have to listen to what it wants, right?
that comes later.
Okay.
You know, that kind of comes as a part of the creative process once you are so kind of comfortable with how everything works together with each other, and then you kind of just have to, in my cocktail idea, or the way I was passed down the knowledge through the lineage from Dale, a cocktail has to be a three-dimensional experience on your senses.
Okay.
And taking into account that the cocktail either warms up if it's served straight up over time, or
It waters down.
dilutes
with
over
ice.
time.
Yeah.
And you have to, the cocktail during all these periods of temperature and dilution has to still be interesting. Every sip has to make you want to have another one. And that's very actually difficult to do.
Right.
In my experience, you gotta really know food. You gotta know gastronomy. You have to really train your palate wine,
Right.
Because you get this information, and obviously product knowledge. There is sometimes things that you learn from researching certain things, and you're like, they grow peppers around there. Maybe I should make like a pepper tincture or pepper puree that I can actually give it that little accentuating flavor, give it a little bit of a nudge flavor-wise, and so on, right? Like where I used to make tequila in Arandas in Mexico, they had mango trees around the fermentation.
So it has some mango notes and
it gets the mango notes. So this is what you don't hear from marketing companies.
No.
From marketing companies, you hear fluff that the consumers kind of then makes them kind of want the product. But we should know better, and that's my biggest battle now to spend more time with younger bartenders and emphasize the fact that you have to know. You have to know stuff.
Totally, and
Right.
it's just they don't know, and it's like it's a weird interim, right? So your biggest tool to educate consumers is going to be bartenders. Why? Because I go to a bar and I'm like, hey, you got bleep bleep big brand of bleep bleep spirit. You're like, actually I don't, but I have this other brand that's the same spirit that's actually better. You should try it. And then you tell me all about it. I drink it. I'm like, oh my god, this is so much better than bleep bleep thing that I was going to order. Then when I go to a liquor store, I'm going to request that bleep bleep brand, and then that's how it grows, right?
That's
but the
exactly
bartender is always your biggest tool. And I went to dinner or lunch with Southern, who was like the big distributor that was distributing that brand that I worked for. And he was like, do you have any questions? I'm like, I'm very curious about this. What is the biggest trend that you've seen across the board through Southern being one of the biggest distributions of alcohol in this country?
Yeah.
What is the biggest trend that you've seen since pandemic with the consumer? And they were like, people are going back, like Jameson, Tito's, Jack Daniels are crushing it. And I was like, that makes sense to me because the consumer is going back to what they know.
Familiar.
They're very intimidated going to a bar and seeing like, here's your gin shelf. All these like esoteric gin brands they don't know nothing about. They're gonna reach for Hendrix. They're gonna reach for Bombay because they've had it before. They know what it is.
Yeah, and life is uncertain.
And they're like, I don't,
Life is very uncertain.
And especially back then, if I spend $30 on a bottle, I'm gonna spend on something I already know I already enjoy, right? And in your case, with such an esoteric, like cool niche spirit, like the bartenders are going to be your tool.
You need a translator.
So you want this? Have you ever tried this?
Absolutely.
Let me put in a cocktail for you, and then people get really excited. So then that's when they go to the off-premise and order it or request
And if the
it.
bartender is a personality that is really passionate about what they do, and then there is a trust built between the guest. Maybe the guest won't ask for something different than Hendrix or something that's familiar first time, second time, but as that trust is kind of built, I think then they become even more of an influence to their guests.
Agreed.
You're a curator.
So the brands need bartenders.
I've always been an advocate for that.
I couldn't agree more.
Yeah.
I think the world needs bartenders. I think bartending is the whole aspect of the bar, the whole idea of the public houses or a pub or a community place where we come to relax after a long day, and is important for humans. I think we have that genetically since time immemorial, that we kind of are social in that way. But I think bartenders these days have even, I think, a more kind of important role. I want to hear what you guys think, because in my world it's like you don't see any more like bartenders, or not many, who are 50 and over and active.
Right.
No, I mean, bartending is a very...
What happens to these people that, what happens? Why is that person who used to preside behind their bar and have all these amazing guests now not able to do it anymore? Is it physical? Most likely, maybe. I don't know. I think it's mostly because it's a difficult job to do, to give your attention all the time to others. And if you don't know how to replenish it,
that part, yep.
you know, I don't think it's going to work long term.
Yeah. I mean,
I don't know what you guys think.
I think there's just, absolutely that. Like, it's a very physical job. Like, bartending is hard.
I'm speaking about realizing do you really want to do this? Because
right.
if you're really good at this, if it gives you a sense of purpose to be of service to others, I think that's a really good thing. That it's a good sign that this might be, you'll be happy here.
Yeah.
You know, you can do this all your life and you have a great life.
Yeah.
But you need to take care of yourself.
Exactly.
Because, you know, yeah, of course the outside influences are important. I think every boss should be very mindful. If they want to be a good leader, they need to be very mindful about people who are working with them, not for them. When you think that people work for you, fuck you.
Yeah.
You know, like, fuck you, man.
I mean,
well,
I really wish that was a reality, but unfortunately, like, it's not. And, like, I think, like, yes, absolutely, that should be the thing.
Because you have to lead by example.
Yes.
You have to, and one of the things is awareness of their realities and their lives. And as you say, you know, you have a really great bartender, but, you know, she's married, and, you know, they're thinking about kids. She's kind of ready to take that step. What is she going to do if she likes this work?
Yeah.
This is a difficult work.
And I think you can relate to that because you were a bartender yourself. But
I still am.
But you still are, obviously. But so many bar operators have never been behind a bar, so they're very, you know, kind of separated from that, from what their takes. And I'm sure you can identify as a musician, right? Something like that you love, that you has your calling.
no, absolutely.
But touring must have been grueling at one point.
It can
and
be.
you have to make some compromises between your health, your personal life.
Drink,
And
I mean,
sorry to interrupt.
I know.
The man is thirsty. So.
The first guys that I know when I was doing this, because I came out of it from left field as a musician, so I didn't know the business, I don't know the industry. But friends of mine that are musicians, that are also bartenders, would be the guys that I go to first, right? And, you know, these guys are like, you know, we want to come when you have the harvest and we want to pick plums. And I went back to Serbia and I was like, you know, I got some guys that want to come out and pick plums. And they're like, really? like we can't really pay them. I mean, it's a farm, you know? And they're like, and they told me, hey, we can't really pay you. We can get you there maybe, but we can't pay you. And they're like, we're fine with that. We just kind of want to get to know it better. We want to be part of it. And it's like, you know, that's a real value. Like, and I was, to me, it was really interesting because it's not just a job. And they're not just an employee. Like, they're actually the soul in a weird way. I mean, there's a lot of steps to what the soul is, but that's a big step, you know, because they want to know enough to put themselves right in that world and be part of it and just do it just so they understand what they're doing. And to me, it's like, that's huge. That's absolutely huge.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know if, I mean, as a musician, I would have wanted to go over to Serbia and play gigs for free. You know, like,
no, totally.
Right? I mean, maybe I would have, because it was fun, if it was interesting, right? If that's an important out of it, because obviously there's no money in it, right? So, but I really respect that. Like, that's something, that means there's something there. That means that there's something, that's culture.
So yeah, to your point, like being like invested in what the messaging and how you portray it to the public is important. And for me, again, it's like so important to like get that messaging across like it deserves, and being like, hey, like Mexico is a little Oh, there you go.
Right.
Are you like a mixologist or something?
I'm just a boy. Don't mind me.
It's funny. I mean, you know, you're actually talking about like the way industry works. I
And
mean,
here's the Serbian flag for you.
In case you were wondering where
Last time I saw this was on the back of my bicycle. I came from here, I rode my bike here, and I rode my bike home the next morning. There's a Serbian flag on my bicycle.
You're like,
how did that happen?
Like, oh my, where was that last night?
You were at the barrage. So this is a Slivopolitan.
Oh, nice.
Oh, there you go.
Because this, you know, the Serbian name for his brandy is Slivovica. Like Slivovitz, right? People know this here as Slivovitz. So I just call it Slivopolitan.
I want to know the story behind the picture.
Okay, here. You do that.
There's a lot to it.
I want to know who she is, who's Bella. I want to know the story behind the label. I'm very interested in
this woman. I saw her, and I saw a picture of her on the internet, and it's like, if I ever do a rakia, this is my label, because she's everybody's grandmother out there, like everybody's, and the grandmothers are part of making rakia out there for the family. Like, I mean, every family in Serbia makes rakia, right?
Pretty much.
Almost every.
Or if
or
not,
their
if
uncle
not
does.
if not your dad, then your uncle, or if not your uncle, then the cousins. But somebody's doing it.
Gotcha.
And the old guys like this, they know. They've been doing it a long time, and they know what they're doing.
Yeah.
So that's one of the things. The other thing is, this woman particularly lived in a small village in this area called Slavonia, who she had a little still on wheels, and she would like wheel it around the neighborhood for people's fruit, to cook their fruit. And she was all about like making rakia like the real way, and not like this industrially produced stuff where there's a lot of additives and
Gotcha.
And you know, only in a village you're going to get that. And what I wanted to bring here was a real rakia that represented the actual, you know, category of the spirit that's made by hand. That's not, there's just no additives. It's just plums and water. And this is the woman who makes this kind of stuff.
Gotcha.
So she's
This is the aged one for you.
she made this till she was like
This is an
98. Yeah. So yeah, they age it. It actually, this is unusual, the clear one for Serbia. This is just distill it.
So typically it's an aged spirit.
Yeah.
It is. They do, because it's special
Hell yeah.
guests.
Yeah. I love how dry it is.
It's very dry.
It has
very dry.
That's my favorite thing about
Very
it.
dry.
Yeah.
Because they, you know, most big producers have to add caramel for consistency and all of that.
Sounds like tequila.
But it is.
Yeah.
It is. Tequila, I don't even want to get started.
This is a can of worms. We do not have time for, my guy.
No. It's a good day. It's a good evening. It's a good night. You know, like we don't
There's
need
no
to.
reason
We
why
don't
I need to
need.
flip
need to
this
go there.
morning.
Yeah.
We don't need to go into the dead
Crash
spot.
our guitars. We
Yeah.
don't have to go that. We don't do that.
But
That's
that
a life
taste
well.
that you have right there, that you tried. So this is what got me. That's the taste that, like, when I was in Serbia, and I'd been going there for about 10 years, and it was my friend's grandfather's rakia, and it was like, okay, I get it.
Yeah.
And it's like, and I'm here in Serbia, and I'm looking around, and I'm tasting this taste, and I'm going, this is the drink for here. And it just connected me in a way that, like, I never ever thought of releasing it like a brand or anything.
Yeah.
It's just like, I get it.
Clicked. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
That makes me want to go to Serbia, because I think like there's nothing like having the food or the drink of in the place of.
That's
Absolutely.
There's something that when you do that, you're like, fuck, I get it. Like
Yeah.
you're like,
That's
whoa,
spot
like,
on.
and
Like
it's
cachaça
like,
in Brazil, you know, right?
yeah, first of all, I've had cachaça many times before, but I had cachaça in the Amazon River in a hut
Oh, cool.
with no running water,
Yeah.
no electricity. It was hot as balls. And all they had to drink was liter of cachaça bottles, no ice,
No ice.
no ice.
No ice. Ice is.
And we're like, fuck it. And we're just in a hammock, fighting off mosquitoes,
Yeah.
drinking hot cachaça, and it just,
Yeah, but if you rub that cachaça on your thighs and your body, the mosquitoes might not come.
and it clicked.
I don't know.
And I was
Maybe
like,
it works. I don't
this
know.
is what it's about. And it's great, and it's amazing, and I love it. But no, it's just, I mean, I'm
And
gonna
it's
be,
the same with food and music, right? Like, I mean, my band toured Brazil back in
Yeah.
the 90s. Like, we went to Amazonia, and it's like, just when you eat the food there, you hear the music, it's like, I'm just here.
I'm here. Like,
I'm here. And you don't
yeah.
get it when you just hear a record from with like some carioca
So true.
music. It's great. You can
Yeah.
appreciate it, but when you're in Rio de
When
Janeiro
you're
hearing
there,
carioca,
yeah.
you're like, okay,
Yeah.
fuck.
No, yeah, no. I love this. I prefer the unaged one. Oh, you know why? Because I'm such a like raw, like give it to me raw. Like I want the first one. I want I want to taste the earth. I want
Right.
to taste
Yeah,
the
I get
terroir.
that. I get that.
Like in Mexico, similar to Serbia, where aging also, there's a certain like public perception that it's better if it's aged, and it's kind of like people just think that way, and it's not necessarily true.
I wonder where like
It's
the
not true at all.
Serbian thing.
Exactly.
I wonder
If
where the
anything-
Serbian thing came because in Mexico is a very specific story for that.
Okay.
The reason why is because the tequila industry was trying to cater to the American public, and Americans like whiskey.
I can
So they
I can attest to that.
and,
Okay.
they were
That makes
aggressively
sense.
trying to
That
market
makes
towards
sense.
that market, and it stuck because honestly,
Right.
like there's beautiful aged tequilas in the market. I
Right.
mean, I don't
They are.
love a lot of them, but
Right.
like a lot of them are.
No,
there's some that I'm like, wow, this is fucking fantastic and amazing.
But they have
Some
to
of
be
it's just-
great in their
Yeah,
Blanco
e-
form.
It's
exactly,
just
exactly.
exploitive.
What
and
overoaking,
just-
what overoaking for American market gives you, in my opinion, is the ability to use shitty Blanco.
Yeah.
Because
Right.
the barrel and the additives that
You
they're allowed
can-
to
you
use,
can mask a lot of,
you can
yeah.
give them a product that is no Mexican would actually, who knows tequila and loves tequila, would consider it
Right.
to be traditional at all.
Yeah, you can't hide
you
in a
know,
Blanco.
The really great aged brands that have aged expressions.
They
I
already
think,
have a great Blanco, yeah.
First the Blanco is outstanding.
Yeah.
And then it changes with every vintage, and some producers even
yeah.
declare that, which I find to be very reasonable and
Yeah.
very good. But what they do is they usually age legal minimums,
Yeah.
and so they use the oak as an accentuating flavor,
But not overpowering
but
the
not
expression.
dominating
Yeah,
flavor.
exactly, yes.
And what you get with the legacy brands in their high end, and don't get me even started on Cristalino. I'm gonna like.
There's a can of worms we do not need to
We
open
didn't
today,
want to.
my
We
guy.
didn't want to kill the evening.
Listen, we
But
said it was
people
a
are
beautiful
selling vanilla.
evening.
They're not selling
We
spirit.
I don't even want to go there.
Yeah,
But so
yeah.
yeah, you're right. I think the American market dictates pretty much all the
Yeah.
most of the consumption, and I think that's try finding tequila in Europe.
Yeah, I mean,
know.
did you know Americans consume more tequila than Mexico consumes alcohol?
I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised.
Southern California specifically consumes more agave spirits than anywhere in the world.
That's because I
Wow.
live here.
Presente. Yes, confirmo. No, yeah, but like I guess I'm trying to get at like I love the art of aging. I think it's a beautiful like art, and I have nothing bad to say about it.
Right.
But I am such a like terroir person. I
Right,
love
right,
to
right.
taste the story of the earth.
I
So
get
like
it.
that's why I love mezcal, and that's why I prefer your unaged spirit because I can taste all these things, right? And
You would love like once the situation becomes normal again, hopefully soon. You would really like to go to St. Petersburg or Moscow and experience how
scared to
Russians
go there.
actually use vodka. Vodka is for them a food spirit, not a cocktail making spirit.
So kind of like paired with food and
That's right.
That's right.
And it's delicious, and it's an experience.
yeah.
It like opens anyone who never learned about vodka opens their mind.
Honestly,
That's my experience.
Honestly, going to Russia is not on my bingo card, but I want. I like now you put it that way. Like I'm
Right.
intrigued and like I feel like I should go with a local though.
No, but
Like
this is-
how would I find that experience on my own
I would
as a non-Russian
Because-
speaker?
because you're a member of the bartending network.
Yeah.
They
Yeah,
have
there's some
great
sharp
bars.
folks out there.
They have fantastic bars in Russia.
Yeah.
They have fantastic bars in St. Petersburg everywhere, and these people are just like us. They are
Oh no, of course they are. but-
Maybe a little crazier sometimes.
no, but they
yeah.
drink significantly more.
Yeah.
And but they're really great bartenders, and they're really
Yeah.
creative, and they're really great hosts.
Yeah.
And their bars is creative and beautifully
Yeah.
designed, and I think it's definitely worth visiting for sure.
Do you think like me as a person who doesn't know anybody from Russia,
Yeah.
who doesn't speak Russian,
Yeah.
I could curate an itinerary that will cater those experiences?
That's
Or you think
Yeah, because
100%? Yeah.
100%.
we will announce you to our contacts behind
Yeah, no, totally. No, there's
Because
some-
I mean that sounds amazing, and for me Russian was like, oh man, like I don't know if like I will ever go to Russia only because of that, because I'm like
Right.
I feel like some countries are like I want to go there, but I feel like I need to go there with somebody who's from there to really.
Oh,
get
sure.
the
it helps to
experience,
have
you know, like-
a way, a path.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been going there since Russia kind of like
Oh, so
changed
you-
over. It changes every couple of years too.
Yeah.
I mean, this country from like 1990 to
Oh,
now,
sure, yeah,
it's
yeah.
gone through every 3
Oh,
years
yeah,
a massive
yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
thing.
Oh, massive changes, yeah.
But what I can say is, I mean, the last time I was there, it's been, you know, now like maybe like 6-7 years, maybe 8 years now. It got into a point of sophistication where they're just really clever, well, highly educated people that get it, they get things, and they do things really well.
That's right.
Like extremely well, better than we do them actually.
sure,
They
yeah.
can refine them and do them, take them to the next level. So I think that absolutely there's going to be an audience for that. I mean, Moscow is what, 11-12 million people?
Yeah.
I mean, it's like New York City.
Like, no time in my mind they can do things incredibly. I just, like, because I don't speak the language and I don't know a lot about the culture, it's kind of like...
Well, back to what you were thinking.
Intimidating to navigate.
So what you're
I guess
thinking,
what I was saying,
like,
yeah.
it's going back like early 90s when I first went there, absolutely. I mean, intimidating, and you would be eaten alive if you didn't have a friend there.
Yeah, I'm just like, oh, my little
I don't think it's
intimidating
quite
to go,
like that
you
now.
know? Ooh, what am I having? Ooh.
You're
But
having
it has been that way.
Queen's rakia.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Oh, yeah.
Very small yield, you said?
Yeah.
Oh, so perfumey.
Yeah, but that's coming. It's all from the fruit. That's how it smells.
That's so pretty.
Yeah, yeah. I love the spot for the single. Isn't it cool?
I love that so much. Super cool.
Huh? So that's
I
Serbian.
believe that's a Serbian record.
Serbian record.
Is it really?
Yeah.
You're kidding.
There's some like Mexicano-Serbian.
Yeah, because we have the
scene.
same, like, you know, like we our cultures are so similar. It's incredible.
Yeah, yeah.
Like there is obviously pork.
Yeah.
There is like family.
Yeah.
But the music is very similar.
Interesting.
Brass
I was
actually
very...
comes from Serbia.
Yeah,
Yeah, brass,
that's actually very...
And cymbals,
Yeah.
I wasn't aware of that.
Yeah,
What
yeah.
about like, is Serbia mostly Catholic?
They're Christian but Orthodox.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
the
yeah.
Russians.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. I feel like there's a lot of similarities culturally when
Yeah.
it comes down to that. Yeah.
Yeah, but no, it's very traditional kind of culture.
Yeah.
You know, very. I want to say Christian. They want,
Yeah.
you know, they have those values, but then you know they are like in the Balkans. They've been ruled by the Turks for 500 years. So there is like, you know, the corruption is
Yeah. Yep.
like, yeah. It's a fact
real
of
thing,
life.
yeah.
Laws are just a suggestion
Yeah.
in some cases.
You can always find a way around them, right?
You know.
No, that's crazy. I would have guessed. I was like,
There's a mariachi phase because back in the 60s, like it was communist country, but it wasn't like a Russian communist country, and Tito wanted to point to a socialist country that was like successful, but couldn't point towards Russia,
Right.
because they were kind of like the enemy. So Mexico was the place that had a revolution that was like a socialist revolution,
right.
and they were like, "This is our."
hey, that's
So they had a whole
that's
cultural
crazy to
mix.
me.
Yeah.
That's
so
insane.
all these mariachi bands from Serbia like popped up. They were
That's-
making records.
Yeah, they
Wild.
would play the same music of the original
Yeah.
song, but they would put Serbian.
No, of course, yeah.
Yeah.
I was so
Yeah.
unaware of that.
Yeah, me neither. It
That's
totally
so
blew
cool.
my mind.
No,
No, I knew that. I knew
Now I'm
that.
gonna do a deep
Well, of
dive.
course, you
and
know
I'm gonna be
that.
looking for
Your mom
records,
was probably
like-
going to like parties, right? Like
Yeah,
eating
but
tacos and stuff.
Mom and dad were like, my dad was a huge Jerry Lee Lewis and Elvis fan, and you know, like that kind of music.
Yeah.
He liked he liked the early Stones, the Beatles.
He's a little rocker.
You know,
yeah.
he liked that. He liked Engelbert Humperdinck and all these guys. You know, like
Yeah.
like
That's cool.
my mom liked Tom Waits. Paul Anka and what's the guy that not Tom Waits, the other like Sean Sonny.
Tom Jones.
Tom Jones.
Everybody's mom liked Tom Jones.
Yeah.
I like Tom Jones.
Bonnie M, ABBA, all that kind
Yeah.
of poppy stuff.
I mean, this is honestly it's still blowing my mind. I'm like, oh my god, I'm literally gonna do a deep
wild.
dive as soon as I get home. I'm like, mariachi Serbian music. I need.
Let's take a break for a second. I gotta check on the soup.
But honestly, Istanbul, Turkish Air that flies direct, I think, from LA. It's 14 hours. You can go there for 3 days. You can go there for 4 days and come back. You can do it. And maybe it's not enough for them, and it's probably not enough for you, but it's enough to get you a taste to come back. And it's fucking amazing. It's amazing. That's a mind-blowing place. Because it's everything. It's everything. It's the whole world is in this place.
I really want to go.
Yeah.
I really want to go.
That's the one thing. I mean, I'm only doing this because I was a musician. I traveled a lot, but you know, you connect with, you know, like the spirits I have when I'm someplace, and I connect to them, and I want to come back to that place. And if I'm not there, I can drink this, and I can remember what it was like to be there. You know.
I love that. No, and that's the thing. What I was talking about earlier. I'm like, there's nothing like being somewhere and having the food as is.
There's a band, I have a record label, and I've been a band from San Francisco called La Plebe.
This is very familiar.
You probably play Mexicali all the time.
Is it like punk adjacent?
Punk. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Yes, it's ska. It's a ska
So I
band.
brought them, that's my band.
Dude, I know them.
I produce all their records.
They're so cool.
No, they're my boys.
Oh my God.
They split up, but I brought them to Serbia and Bulgaria. So
I know exactly who they are. They've been around for a minute, right?
Yeah, I think we went out there, it was like 2000 probably.
Dude, I'm pretty sure it's at Mexicali, and I got my shit kicked in the pit.
They played all the time. Do you know the band Brujeria? I started Brujeria.
No,
that's my band. Yeah.
You're joking.
No, seriously.
You're joking.
No. Yeah, seriously.
You're fucking kidding.
No, I'm Widow Sin Fe.
So we're gonna talk about this now. I wanted to ask you. I didn't know, and I apologize. Maybe I have to kind of go back into my musical lexicon and revisit certain time periods. But you're a founding member of the Brujeria, a band that actually changed a lot of stuff and became very, very good. I mean, I love the videos and everything.
Brujeria was like such a bridge between as an immigrant kid that moved to the United States at 15.
Yeah.
So I went to high school, which is the weird. You have teenage daughters. So weird time.
I do.
Where you're trying to fit in so hard, so imagine the time of your life where you're trying to fit in so hard and like connect with people and you don't speak the language.
Right.
It's rough.
Totally.
So I connected a lot with all the punk rock kids and the metal kids, and Brujeria was the one metal band that connected the white kids and the Mexican kids in the metal scene.
So that
was your key.
Yeah.
That was the fucking
I love it.
middle the thing that was the band that connected them both, and it's just fuck, that's so fucking good.
Tell me.
I'm kind of
how long have you been with them?
right now, I'm not gonna lie,
have
dude.
you been playing with them? I mean,
so we started,
and why?
I mean, honestly, I went to high school with these guys in LA, and these guys from East LA were coming to my school, and they were listening to punk, and I was listening to punk, and there were not many kids in my school listening to punk. I was like, who are these dudes, these Mexican dudes listening to punk, And there's started talking, and we, 15 years old, and we became really good friends and going to gigs, and so I moved up to San Francisco, and I came back down and hang out with my buddies, and we'd go to punk shows and drink beer in the car, and they're like, we want to do a metal band, because all these kids in East LA are listening to Terrorizer and all this shit, we want to do it like a satanic Mexicano band called Brujeria. And it's I'm in, and it was just the world was changing, Napalm Death was playing, and it was this shit that you couldn't even sell. It was unsellable music, and we're gonna do this. We're gonna do it in Spanish, and we're gonna be yeah. I mean, we never,
where else can you bridge Mexican and American metal other than LA?
Exactly.
LA
it had to be in LA.
Be the place.
Exactly.
LA is the place for that. Because I remember and granted, I was in a metalhead growing up. I was a punk girl, and I'm very much into ska.
Actually, we're more punk than metal, but yeah.
Yeah, it's more like thrash, punk, whatever. But I was much more into punk and ska.
Yeah.
But Brujeria to me was always very special because it's such a cool band because it bridges
that was the kind of
because all the white metalheads loved it, and then you have the Mexican kids, and it was something that they could commiserate about.
Totally.
And
it's amazing.
And as a kid that didn't speak English, coming to the U.S. to have these common grounds to talk about,
and you don't have to apologize.
Totally. Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm
no,
I didn't know you were.
Yeah.
Fuck. I'm fucking fangirling right now. I'm so embarrassed.
But I mean, actually, what I'm doing with Yebiga, with the rakia, is the same thing with Brujeria. We're doing something kind of wrong. Actually, Yebiga means fuck it.
That's right.
And it's really. I was going to ask him, what does that mean?
And actually, the label is a death certificate.
In the context of you can use it in all kinds of different contexts, right?
How's
your day? Yebiga means so. You can say it when you are giving up, trying to put a square peg to a round hole. You can say Yebiga.
Okay, so
you win the lottery, Yebiga.
Yeah.
So tomorrow when my expense Yebiga. There you go.
Yeah.
Kind of.
I hope this email finds you well. Yebiga. Can I say that? Is that allowed? No?
Totally, I love it.
It's the end of the year, I know.
I love it. So, how long did it last?
Well, I mean, I left the band around 2001 because nobody knew who we were, and we were wearing masks, and I kind of liked that part of it because I had Faith No More, and I like.
Oh, everyone knows
I had
who you are
band
now.
politics. Yeah.
Brujeria is fucking
Well,
huge
because
now.
Brujeria started touring and stuff, but when they started touring is when I left the band.
Gotcha, okay.
Because it was like, it's kind of like Kiss when they took their makeup off.
Yeah,
Like,
okay.
I was like, I liked Kiss with the makeup on.
Yeah.
You know?
Me too. Me too.
And I was kind of like, that was the mystery and the whole thing, but it's okay. I think it's great. They did it. They did great, amazing shows, you know.
Yeah.
I'm 100% behind it. It's just that I already had a band that was touring and doing all that shit, and I didn't want to do two of them.
Right,
And,
no, it's too
yeah.
much. I'm a little younger than you are, so like I started getting to Brujeria like 2006, 2007, so it's like kind of like still in that like
Right.
underground stage where it was like still like the cool kids knew about it. So, but to me it was really funny because like all the white metal kids were like, oh, it's super cool, underground, like fucking Hispanic band. And all the Mexican metal kids like, oh, it's like this Our People fucking metal band.
Right.
But for me it was a bridge, and it was like,
That's
I thought
cool,
it was so
man.
beautiful.
That's
it was
so
super
cool. That's so cool.
Yeah.
So when we started talking in the beginning, you were saying like, oh, so how's how's it going? How's this year been for you? And I said a lot of death and stuff like that. So 2 guys in Brujeria died this past couple months, Peach and Brujo.
Yeah, yeah.
And those are the guys that we started everything with. And so I was just in LA meeting with...
Wait. One for homies.
That's right.
All right.
There we go.
I was Brujo's sister, and we're just talking about like all the crazy shit that we did, and just kind of trying to process it. Because you know, when you do things, you don't think about them till after, and you know, it's like, what did we do exactly?
And you're like,
and what was that shit?
And you're like, whoa, we did a lot.
Yeah.
And then we created a
totally,
fucking
totally.
thing. Yeah,
So-
no, totally.
Yeah.
Guys, it's 4:30. No, it's 4 a.m. I gotta give you a chicken soup because
Are we in New York?
that's right.
You should have kicked me out 2 hours ago. I thought we were in California.
No, but this is the barrage. So you know, at 4 a.m. we have chicken soup. So I would like you to have some chicken soup.
Please.
Because this is so cool. This was such a great talk.
Thank you
guys.
thank you so much for having us. This was
Of course.
amazing.
Hey, absolutely.
So here we go.
You know, I'm really happy that LA didn't pass that 4 a.m. law situation.
Were they gonna do that?
Yeah.
I didn't hear about that.
The chicken soup is a great thing at the end of the night.
Absolutely.
There is nothing more comforting than soup ever. In every culture, anywhere, nothing
Yeah.
more comforting than soup. So the fact that you guys give chicken soup at 4 a.m. at employees only, to me, is the most thoughtful thing in the world. And I love it.
I stole that from the Greek people. When I was young, I was bartending in Greece during summer. And
Was it crazy?
certain detail. A bartender never reveals certain details. As a gentleman. But that being said, they have this tradition that when they go home after a night of clubbing or, you know, whatever they are engaged in, then this rejuvenates you on your way home, and the little tavernas are serving that, and I loved that idea. But I kept the sodium here on the normal level. But how do you like the soup, by the way?
It's fucking fantastic. Thank
It's
you.
good, right? That's the employee's only recipe. So, guys, thank you so much for coming. Thank you so much for visiting the bar.
Thank you
Come
for having
back,
us.
Thanks for having us.
Come back, but before you coming back, first you have to leave. So thank you so much for coming.
Thank
You were
for having
fantastic.
us. Thank you for having us.
Love you guys.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Thanks.
Stay
Thank you, Dushan.
legendary.